All right, good morning, everyone. We'll be getting started here shortly. Let's see who all's in the room. Great. Before I get started, can you type in if my voice is coming across loud enough? Visual is good. Before I get started, those of you who are with me in the Zoom room. Awesome, awesome. So let me see what I can do here. A couple things. 1 second. Share my screen here. Okay, good morning. Let me know if you see the slide there on the screen. That is what you should see this morning. Make sure that's being shown. Okay, let me see that again. Okay, can somebody type in for me if you could see the slide before we get started this morning? Let me go here. Thank you, thank you. Okay, we're gonna go ahead and get started this morning. Okay, good morning. Welcome to this morning's Solutions for Living. I'm your host, Greg Stanton. I'm glad that you all have made it out here this morning. I'm also known as a SAR. I always honor your presence in this sacred space as you join me each and every Sunday morning. This morning, across traditions, resurrection is being commemorated throughout this entire month. And so this morning, I want to kind of introduce you to this topic. And this morning's topic has to do with being grounded inside of our own power. So I'm going to ask if you will join me this morning by just becoming centered. So wherever you are right now, I just want you to take a moment and look around, make sure you're in a safe space. All is well. Come present to right here, right now. And just close your eyes and take a big breath in. Hold that breath. Now exhale. Let's take one more breath in. Go ahead and hold that breath. Now exhale. And as you exhale, just come back present as we prepare to move through this morning's presentation. I want to start with today's theme. Let me get my slides to moving here. Okay. Hey, trying to get my slides to move. Oh, there you go. Awesome. Okay, this morning's theme is we want to deal with this very topic of empowerment. The theme we're working on this month is empowerment, still I rise. But today I want to offer you a sacred twist to this. What if we shifted from being empowered to I'm powered, as in I am powered, powered from within? That is, we're powered by a divine source. So right now, go ahead and type in the chat if you're with me. I'm powered. Now, as you do that, go ahead and say it aloud wherever you are. Repeat after me. I'm powered. And so we want to remember that power isn't given to us. It's something that we assume. Okay, we're not just empowered, and we're going to explore that, but we want to get to the place of knowing that we are powered, or I'm powered. This inner awakening that we're moving through helps us to step into a place of remembrance, regathering of who we really are. And so that's important to me today, that we really understand that we have a power. Now, what does empowerment mean? Okay, empowerment, or the word empower, is a verb that is to activate, or it gives power. But ment, that's the MENT, is to, it comes from the Latin word mentum, meaning a state, a process, or a result. So when we look at this, empowerment really becomes the state of being in power. It's the process of reclaiming our voice. It's the evidence that our divine I am is awake. And that's what the awakening is about. Waking up this power that's in each of us, but it's been lulled to sleep. And we have to reconnect to this power. So let's explore what I'm powered really means. When we talk about being I'm powered, okay, it is to live with an awakened spiritual authority. It's not just a title, as many will assume. It's no system, it's no person that gives it to you. You yourself are the evidence of source expressing. You don't need permission to shine, for you are permission. You are the authority in your life. You are the I'm powered. Think about that. No one needs to give you permission. It's your birthright. And it requires no external approval, which we have aligned or assigned to it. It's also an inner authority that each of us have. Spiritual wisdom awakens within us when we realize that. But this is the key to having mastery of this thing called life. So I want you to begin to say, I am powered, that there's a divine source that flows through each of us. That's important that we grasp this. But let's not ignore the context that we are in. We are in what is right now a place of disempowerment. When you look at what's going on around the world, when you look at what's being presented to us in the media, in today's world, politically, economically, and socially, it feels as though we've been disempowered. But disempowerment is everywhere. When you talk to individuals, individuals are communicating that they feel silenced or they feel restricted. And there's a large part of society today that is communicating a feeling of being forgotten. But we must remember this. Power is not lost. It really is just forgotten. You never lose your power. What really happens is you forget that you have the power. And that's critical. This is not just a cultural crisis that we're experiencing, it's a conscious crisis. It's a crisis of consciousness. So there's a call for consciousness right now. We shouldn't just react to the world. We must begin to reclaim the world. So we want to be conscious of the external challenges we face. Each of us, we face political um, injustices. We got media noises everywhere that's assaulting us daily. You got to realize that the system that we're in is designed to distract you from the inner truths that you hold. That's why we're called. We're called to go inside, to go into that secret place. And in doing that, we recapture our spiritual truths, the true power. That spiritual truth that we need to really focus on is that true power lives in remembrance of our divine identity, okay? Not external chaos that is imposed on us. This chaos that may feel like it is able to distract us from our inner divinity. All it does is just distract us when we realize that it's the external noise that we must begin to face and deal with. So I don't want you to continue to just react to the world. I want you to reclaim your power and your place in it. So there is a current dispowerment out there. I don't want you to feel like or to think that it's not happening, for it really is happening. I want all of you to begin to understand that the world in which you live is about disempowerment. But this message this morning is about empowerment. It's about you taking your power back. And I really want each of us to get to this place that we take our power back. So I want to give you an example this morning. We're going to look at Lazarus, and we want to also look at what's known as the Assyrian drama. Jesus called Lazarus to come forth, if you recall. But was it metaphysically? That's not just a miracle. That's a moment of remembrance. When we look at this scripture, it says, come forth. When we explore the Kemetic tradition, Asar, or as the Greek called him, Osiris, represents the divine self. And all of us have a divine self, a self that has been dismembered. In the Kemetic tradition, the story, the Assyrian drama, is about the dismembering of Asar or Osiris. Then remembered through spiritual awakening. We can find Jesus mirrors Heru in this story, the revealer of truth, calling forth the Asar that's within all of us, or the Jesus that is in all of us. So when Jesus says in the scripture, come forth, he's not talking about waking up Lazarus. He's waking up you. That's important. It's about a divine call that is taking place right now, that we are all asleep. And the Spirit is calling us to come forth as if we've been sleeping. Our spirits are not dead. They've just been dormant. We're not conscious of the power that lies within each of us. So this month, as we move into what is historically known as the Resurrection Month or the Resurrection Sunday, I want you to step beyond the traditional story. And I want you to reconnect. I want you to reconnect to the initial story or the original myth that was a story that was being told in a way that each individual could come alive again. And so I want all of us to work on coming alive again, that we may rise above all of the distractions that are taking place in our lives, that we may reconnect, that we may remember who we really are. We're divine spiritual beings having a human expression. And for too many of us, we're captured in this human expression, that we begin to define ourselves around the external, the material that makes up part of this realm. We got to get back to being divine spiritual beings. So there's a 3-step rising practice that I would like to introduce you today. You don't need a gravel, or you don't need sand or dirt or gravel to feel buried. You can be buried in day-to-day situations. And we're going to look at that. How do we rise from what we feel buried underneath? Not theoretically, but I'm talking about practically. How do we rise? First, we recognize, where did I give away my power? Secondly, we want to reclaim it. We want to speak the truth from your I am. And then lastly, we want to respond. That is, we want to take one aligned action from the awareness. Now, let me show you how this looks. First of all, you want to practice this. You start by recognizing. That is, you wake up, you grab your phone, you scroll the news, now you're anxious. So we got to recognize that we start our day with these distractions. So we want to recognize, where are the distractions coming from? Where am I giving my power away? Then secondly, we want to reclaim it. That is, I am the peace no headline can shake. So instead of waking up, getting a headline, finding out what's trending, you want to rise stating that you are the peace. You are wholeness. You are wealth walking. So you want to rise stating, I am the peace no headline can shake. Why don't you say that right now? Wherever you are, I want you to say, your day has already started, but I want you to stop right now, and I want you to say, I am the peace no headline can shake. Matter of fact, not only no headline, no situation or circumstance can shake me. And then the third example in the recognize, reclaim is respond. That is, put the phone down or step outside, speak life to someone. Don't respond by rehearsing the very thing you don't want to experience. You want to respond with a right next step. You want to speak life to that situation. Now, small shifts become spiritual revolutions. Think about that. Just a small shift in what you do becomes a spiritual revolution. Go ahead, if you will, type in the chat, I recognize, I reclaim, I respond. Or just put RRR to acknowledge that you recognize, you reclaim, and that you're responding. Now, let's bring this all together for all of us today. I want you to understand, who rises when the world says sit down? I want you to respond, I do, or I am. So I'm going to say it. Who rises when the world says sit down? Yes, that's right. I am. Now look at this. Who walks in power without permission? That's an important one. Too many of us are awaiting the permission of someone outside of ourselves. Give yourself permission. So who walks in power without permission? That's right. I am. I do. Now look at this. Who carries divine light in the darkest times? I am carrying that divine light. Or you can say, I do. Now that's important. We should not forget this. We should not forget that we have the power. We walk in the power. We must not remember. Forget. We must remember. We must pull this all together. That is what is meant when we say, I'm powered. Instead of empowered, let's step into being, I'm powered. Now, here's an affirmation I want you to take. This morning's affirmation, I'm going to speak it once. It goes something like this. I am not waiting to be empowered. I am empowered by divine presence, by design. I rise because I remember who I am. Now, let's do that together. First of all, you'll understand that you have a light, and that your light cannot be dimmed unless you turn it down. I don't care how dark it gets, keep your light shining. Realize that you're not waiting, that there's no external permission that is needed for you to step into your divineness, to you to step into your full power. That's important. Too many people that I run into are in this hold pattern. They're waiting on external permission. They're waiting on a date or a time or a situation. Step into your power now, because when you say I am, that tense is present, not futuristic, not past, but it's present. So I am powered by divine presence. And again, I rise. You rise because you remember who you are. You remember whose you are. You remember what you are. You are a divinely created individual. You are a walking manifestation of source. That is important. So together, let us say, I am not waiting to be empowered. Let us say, I am empowered by divine presence. And then I rise because I remember who I am. That is so important, to take your power back. A lot of people are feeling powerless because of new administrations, because of directives that have come down, because of perhaps you've lost a job or situation has changed, and you feel as though your power has been swept right out from underneath you or from within you. But your power is only taken when you give it. It's never just taken. People assume your power. Now, I want to seal this morning's conversation with a prayer. And this prayer that I want to use this morning, I want it to activate that you're divine and that there's a divine within you. I want it to clearly show that many things that you're dealing with are illusions of separation. And finally, I want this affirming prayer to reignite an inner light of your soul. So why don't you just close your eyes and receive. Infinite presence, awaken in us the I am. Strip away illusions of separation. Let us remember that we are the light. We are not waiting. We are rising. We are not broken. We are returning to wholeness. We are empowered. I'm powered. And so it is. Ashe. Amen. We rise. So that affirmation was activating, it was clearing, and hopefully it reignited something in each of you this morning. Now, here's my final challenge this morning for every one of you. As we realize that we're not waiting for peace, that you're aligning with it. You're not waiting for wealth, that you're aligning with it. You're not waiting for your health, you're aligning with it. You're not waiting for clarity, you're aligning with it. You're not waiting to rise. You've already arisen. So you're not waiting, you're aligning. So I want you to replace waiting with aligning. Not waiting for clarity, but you aligning with it. Whatever it is you've been waiting on, I want you to align with it. I want you to begin to live as though it has already happened. I want you to go to sleep with the expectation that it'll come forth with much more clarity when you rise with a stronger intensity. I want you to embody your truth this week, that you're not waiting for peace, that you are the peace. Whatever it is you've been waiting on, I want you to embody it as a truth. All right. And then, most of all, I want each of you to live from power, not seeking external validation, but knowing an inner divinity already exists in you. This is important, that it's in. Once we recognize that the power is within us, we'll stop chasing things. We'll stop seeking things, but we'll turn inside and we will decrease. What I mean by that is our material selves, our external selves, the container that we have allowed to define who we are, it decreases. And then that little light now begins to become an inferno. It begins to be overtaken by that internal light, and the oneness of being begins to come forth. So this morning, I hope that you understand that there is a need for you to step into, for you to assume your full power. I want you to know that you are not your struggle. You are the resurrection. You are the rising. So this morning, I want you to know, still you rise. All right? You're not your circumstances. You're not the headlines. You are not what the world tries to define you as. That's important. You are the moment. You are the movement. You are the rising. So I thank you this morning for being part of this very brief message. I want you to walk in remembrance. Speak from your I amness. And I want you to always know, still you rise. I know you're familiar with the poem by Maya Angelou. And this is a upgrade of that, not just repeating a poem that talks about still rising through all that we go through, but it's this morning's reflection is a little deeper. It's about a remembering, a reconnecting to who you really are. You're not a human being. You're a divine spiritual being, having a human experience. So this morning, I want to encourage all of you. Turn away from what you're hearing. Close off your ear gates. Close your eyes. And don't let what you've been seeing, what you are hearing constantly to disempower you. You want to empower yourself, knowing that true empowerment comes from realizing I am power. Awesome. So let us prepare to step into the green room this morning. I hope something has been said that has been uplifting and encouraging to all of those who are with me this morning. And if you're with us this morning and you got a care, share, concern, or maybe you got some insight that you would like to share with us this morning regarding this morning, that message that has to do with recognizing, reclaiming, and responding, not reacting, but responding. Go ahead and raise your hand or type it into the chat there, and we'll go from there. But before we do that, I want to remind you that every week, Monday through Fridays, from 6 a.m. to 6:15ish, we have the morning meditations called Spill the Beans, where I present a brief thought, a meditation, and we have a affirming prayer, and we start our day the right way. So if you want to be part of that, go to the website, www.soulutions4living, that's SOULUTIONS, for living, FOR, for living, all one word, and go over to, or just flip through the different tabs and see what's out there. Additionally, if this Sunday message has been a blessing to you, or something that I've delivered this week has been supported of you, brought value to your life, consider sowing a seed. You could sow a seed by way of Cash App, or you could sow a seed by way of Zelle, and you can use the same phone number to reach either of those platforms. And that phone number is 708 368 1076. 708 368 1076. So awesome. I thank those of you who have been supportive of the work. And so let us step into the green room this morning. Let me see if there's any comments that are out here. 1 second here. Let me see. As I look back, there's no comments in the Zoom room. And then as I look on the YouTube channel this morning, we have a number of people inside of the chat. Good morning, Keith. It's good to see you. I know that one name of those other individuals who's watching, I don't see you on the screen, but I hope something has been said that has been uplifting and encouraging to you. And if you're on the YouTube channel, make sure you hit that like and share. That will help us grow our channel. That way it increases the number of people that actually get a hold of this feed as they search for certain things. So I thank each of you who have joined this morning. So I'm not going to hold you. If you're here this morning and you have something you would like to share, the floor is open now. And if not, we're just going to wrap up today. Wherever you are, I hope you're in a great headspace. And I hope that you grasp one thing this morning. And that one thing is, power does not come from the outside, but all the power that you will ever need already resides on the inside. Okay, good morning, Cheryl. I see your hand is up there. You have the mic.
Good morning, diviners. How are you this morning?
Extremely.
You're extremely well. Yeah, that's always your response. I like that. Well, I don't have any cares this morning. I'm doing well. I'm thankful that Source is providing all that I need, and I do like the idea of power coming from within rather than externally.
Yes. Can you see how if you're dependent on power to be given to you, that the same people or the same systems that give it to you
Can take it away.
That's right. That's right. And so we have,
And they will only give you. I've got another voice in here saying they will only give you what they want you to have. So that
yes,
limits what you
yes,
can acquire. But if you understand that you have the power,
yes.
it changes your whole perspective.
Yeah, I like that. That whoever chimed that in, that's right on time.
That's Shannon. That's Shannon this morning.
People give you what they want,
Want you to have. Mhm.
and a lot
And it
of,
may not necessarily, and she's adding, and it may not necessarily be what you need.
because nobody knows what you really need other than you.
Yes, yes.
You can walk with
True.
a person, sleep with a person, talk with a
Mm,
person, ride with a person, but you don't really know what they need. You can assume, but
mm.
the reality in life, most people are selfish.
Yeah.
Give to you what in response they will get something back from.
A lot of times.
It's manipulation. Okay.
Mm,
So we must just be mindful of that. Mindful
yes.
that my power is affirmed by me and no one else. It
And
doesn't matter.
it's from within. It's the power is within us.
The,
Yeah, because what as I was thinking that the scripture that came to mind was greater is he that is within us than he that's in the world.
and who is the he? And for many of us, we get it wrong. We think that he is God out
But
there.
it's us.
It's
It's
us.
us.
It
It's
is
us.
us. And we have to
It's
define.
the spiritual us. It's the spiritual aspect of us.
That's correct. And the true aspect of us is our spiritual selves. We
Yes.
ourselves as being a male or female, being Black, Hispanic, or whatever we may. These are
Yes.
all material, external things.
Yes.
But remember, in one of the teachings early on, I really clarified The man as a male, female was
Mm-hmm.
defined first as a spirit being. We are
Mm-hmm.
we're first created, and then we takes form. It takes form. So we're
Yes.
first a spiritual being.
Mm-hmm.
Ultimately, we unfold into being a formed being. But the essence of the form is that it's just a container.
Okay. Yes.
That's
Yes.
all.
Yes. It's
Like,
just yes.
like the pic, if you were looking at a picture of someone who has gone, you're not looking at that picture acknowledging that that is that person. You're looking at that picture and you're really picking up the essence of the spirit
Mm-hmm.
behind.
Mm-hmm.
So people, when they engage each of us, they shouldn't just be engaging us from the external, but they really
Mm-hmm.
should at some point pick up your essence.
Mm-hmm.
That's important. Thank you for that insight, Shannon. I thank you,
That's Shannon.
and thank you.
Yeah.
Some awesome. Let me see. Anything else?
No, thank you so much. I just really enjoy the teaching.
Awesome. Good, good. Let me look around the room here. All right. I thank each of you for joining us this morning. All right. Al, did you have your hand up there? You have something you want to share? Okay, I thought I saw your hand flash. Well, we're not going to eat up the time. You guys have a wonderful day. Whatever you're doing, be present to it, enjoy it. Realize that things happen not to you, but through you. How you frame your world is the world in which you live. So stop looking outside, determining what's going on as if it's going to determine what's going to become your reality. Because now you're giving away your power to create the world, the day that you desire to be inside of. Awesome. Amasar, again, thank you for coming. I look forward to seeing you guys on next week. And until then, remember that you are more powerful that you've been led than you've been led to believe. Have a wonderful day. Peace.